Green light.
Hey, and
Hey.
we're live.
And we're live. I am Jeff.
I am Dave.
And we are beer drinkers with a Bible fetish.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Woohoo. I got that live in there before you could get the little echo thing going on.
Yeah, we're actually live. Here, watch this. I'm going to give it just a minute. Live.
And in color? In person?
In color. On YouTube.
Ooh. Oh, I had it for a second. I lost it. You turned it off before I could say
Yeah.
anything. Cold, man. Cold.
We are live on YouTube if you're watching, and we're also on iTunes now, Google Play.
I need to check Spotify.
And you need to check Spotify because they're a piece of crap. They don't let you know nothing. The other two at least email you.
Yeah,
so Spotify is kind of crappy.
Sounds like it. I don't say it's crappy. It's crappy in terms of their communication.
It is. Their communication's crappy. That's why I don't have Spotify.
I love Spotify.
Yeah, you can keep it.
I will.
So,
Absolutely.
I like Google Play. I actually use Google Play.
Yeah.
I like it. I have Pandora.
Yeah.
That was like one of the original streaming things.
I like my Pandora radio, but it's because I've tweaked. Like I have a hip hop radio station and a punk rock radio station that I've gotten so good.
Yeah.
That I love them for that aspect.
Yeah.
When I want a radio station.
But that's what I use them for a radio station.
I use
Absolutely.
Spotify because for $10 a month, I don't have to buy a CD ever again.
But see, I do Pandora. I pay $14 a year
for your radio.
For my radio for commercial free. So $14 a year, and then it's in high def too. It's not just so they say. I don't know. I don't see the sound difference, but that's what they tell you anyway.
Yeah.
So,
anything to make a buck.
Yep. So tonight for beer, we have this French beer.
Imported from
It's been around
France.
a while, I think. This 1664 beer. Somebody actually left this at my house, so that's why I brought it in. Party at the house. Somebody brought over these beers, so I figured I'd bring it by and we can try these ones out tonight.
Yeah, it's a cool little bottle.
So La Première
Bière Francais.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, it's in French, people.
Kronenberg, 1664. It is 5% alcohol. I think I saw somewhere on here.
Yep,
5% ABV. Oh, that's a little tiny-ass beer, too. It's only 11.2 fluid ounces.
It's the French.
The French.
It's the French.
Really? 11.2 ounces.
Hey, they did win the World Cup.
Yeah, yeah. You know why? Because they don't.
Anything.
They can drink all the beer they want, and they're not going to get drunk because it's only 11.2 ounces.
This is the French we're talking about. The only thing redeeming about the French was the fact that John Calvin was French.
Is there anything redeeming about the French?
Well, I mean, most Americans would say we went to won the revolution without their help. Y'all should have seen that look. You might have got like the side view of it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Although, you know what? I remember a buddy of mine. He's probably listening to the show, by the way. He put this comment on Facebook years ago, and I had to laugh my ass off because, you know, the French language sounds very romantic, right? And they can be like flipping you off.
I have never understood the aspect of the French language sounding romantic.
Oh, it can. It depends how it comes out. The French language can actually sound very romantic.
Any
right?
language can sound romantic how you say it.
I think the French probably they got that going for them. So he puts on there, and you probably heard the German language, you know, right? So you can take the same phrase between German and French. Well, the way he put it in there, he goes, if the French language is the language of love, the German language is equal to being ass done with a glass bottle, broken glass bottle. That was his comparison. And it was just, when I read that, I had to laugh my ass off because I'd just come back from Europe at the time, and I met people from both countries. And to listen to it, it's kind of, I haven't had a taste yet. How is this?
Try it.
It's not bad, I guess.
It's a light beer.
Yeah, it is. Definitely light. It's not too bad.
You definitely,
Definitely a good drinking beer.
You could definitely drink this.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't because it's French.
Yeah.
But if it was the only beer available, I would not be opposed to drinking it.
You know what, though? I made a comment to him just before we were getting the beer out. We're getting ready for the show. I'm like, man, a beer just sounds really good right now for some reason. It just really did. It just sounded good.
Yeah.
You know, there's them days where you just kind of like, God, a beer
want a beer.
sounds good. Yeah, I just want a beer. That was me a moment ago. So I'm gonna get my beer fix going now. Get a couple beers. Yeah, we're doing a couple of them tonight. We're doing this Kronenberg 1664, and then we're doing a
New Belgium Voodoo Ranger.
Yeah, they're IPA.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do an IPA tonight too.
Well,
so it's a good thing we're starting with the light beer, actually.
Yeah, we've had a string of good luck with IPA, so hopefully it continues.
We've had some good IPAs lately. So I don't know if you've seen much of the news lately.
No,
you haven't been watching it.
No.
So we
imagine this.
Yeah, you're usually kind of a news person.
In our little group chat, right? There were like 40 messages.
I
didn't read a single one. For the first time, like I'm completely lost on our group chat. I got to go back and
you probably should catch up.
Yeah, I will. But yeah, I spent the whole weekend with my wife and daughter. And
nice.
Like my phone, other than texting family or people I needed to contact, I really didn't care.
That's good, man. You got to do that every now and then. Got to unplug.
Right. No, absolutely. It's like when we go out to the desert in the middle of nowhere, and I'm out of touch for a few days, and it's been kind of nice.
Just unplug for a while. Yeah.
Went back, had work concerns, got work done instead of seeing like lunch break and whatnot. You see what's going on in the world. Just didn't care.
You know what I'll have to do. I think I told you I'm going to Mexico this Friday just for the day. I'm going to cross the border for a day, and I haven't decided if I'm going to walk across or drive across for various reasons. If I drive across, I'll have to make sure to bring a couple Mexican
cervezas back.
What I need to do, this is what we need to do side by side. We need to do a Mexican Corona and an American Corona.
No. If we're going to do that.
Just to see.
No.
One after the other.
No. You do the Mexican Corona and the Mexican Pacifico and fuck the American ones.
But I'm saying just to compare them. Just to see.
One's made with Mexican water and one's not. It's real simple.
Yeah, and piss water, I know.
Yeah, but it tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
For all of you that hate Mexican beer.
But I've never done that side by side. It'd be interesting to do one
cool.
after the other just to see the difference.
That's true.
Just taste-wise, okay. Even just to pour them each into a glass and, do it that way.
And see if it's a placebo effect. Does it taste better when you're in Mexico?
Yeah, or just
if it's actually better.
Exactly.
That would be a good side-by-side thing.
I think it would be. Just kind of get on here and just kind of do that. Let people actually, let's see if one tastes better.
Corona and Pacifico or a Corona and
yeah, just and do the American version. Ooh. And then the other one.
You could do your Modelo.
Bohemia is one of my favorite in Mexico.
Bohemia, and then your Negro Modelo.
Negro Modelo is good too.
You really like that down there.
Yeah, that's because it's on draft quite a bit down there when I go there. True. Bohemia is still hard to find even down there. You don't see a lot of Bohemia places, and that is in essence really one of my favorite Mexican beers is Bohemia.
Is it? Yeah, but that's right. When we're down there, you
just don't see that much of it even down there. It's not popular.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this Stella Jalisco. It literally popped out of nowhere. Like out of nowhere, it was. I'd never heard of it, and then I go to a Dodger game, and one of the big ad signs that they have at Dodger Stadium was a Stella Jalisco, and I was like, "The hell is it?" Jalisco. Yeah. Yeah.
Estrella Jalisco.
Yeah. I had one. Like I went to a golf tournament out here, the Shriners Open, and they had it, and I was like,
"How is it?"
It wasn't bad. But
is it similar to like a Corona or something like that?
Yeah, it's just another Mexican cerveza. Like it's
Mexican lager.
Corona. Pacifico.
Are they doing? Is it? Do you know if it's a lager or a pilsner or what is it?
I believe it's another lager.
Okay.
I believe it's just another one. So it's
because most of those are lagers.
Very similar flavor. Like when I had it, I was like, okay, so it's just another, Corona Mexico Modelo. Like whatever you have your preference.
Does it need a lime like the others?
Actually, funny enough, it didn't need a lime.
Okay.
It didn't need a lime. So in that aspect, it reminded me of Pacifico. So you don't have to fruit the beer? No.
Don't fruit the beer. Remember that old commercial? Don't fruit my beer.
No, I don't.
Yeah, there was a commercial about that, about not fruit. When you fruit your beer, you got to give your man card over.
Oh.
That's kind of what it was insinuating.
I like my lime in my Mexican beers.
And a couple of them, they're good. Corona. Other than that, it's
not needed. Like the Modelo doesn't need it. Pacifico doesn't need it. The Jalisco, it didn't need it.
Tecate, that needs whatever it can help it get.
You know what? Here's the thing with Tecate. Like, I won't drink it, but you told me when I would make would do these taco parties for a while, and I needed something to marinate the meat in. Like,
it makes a great marinade.
Right.
Yes,
you stick it into those metal trays with the little heaters underneath. And I remember I was talking to you about this a while back, and I was like, I need a way to keep the meat because it keeps drying out. And you told me use tecate. Just pour it in there in the meat and let it marinate. Oh my Lord!
Made a big difference.
I did that, and just as it, because I mean, obviously with the heat, the beer would evaporate. But I bought like a big 40, and I was just pouring the tecate in the chicken and the chopped chicken and chopped up carne.
Keeps it moist and tastes
great.
great.
Oh my Lord! The whole night for hours, the meat, because we were constantly cooking and throwing in,
Yeah.
But then for the whole night, just sat in there, just kept pouring in tecate. It kept it tender, moist. Like that meat all night for hours. It just sat there in a pan, and it tasted bomb. Yeah. I had people coming over 4 or 5 hours later after we were done cooking, and it was sitting like food. People, you've been to parties, right? Like those metal warmers, and people are like, "That's still taco meat." And they're like, "It's not gonna be." I'm like, "No, try it." And they went over and they made themselves some tacos, and they're just like, "What does it?" And I was like, "It's a secret ingredient." What is it? Tecate. And they're like, "You put what?" And I'm like, hey, a friend told me, and it was this friend, use tecate, just pour it in there and let it marinate in it, and I'll be damned.
What I've done now is I'll use tecate with a little bit of lime. If I put the lime in it, squeeze lime into it, just a little bit. Doesn't need much. And you put that over the meat too. Oh, man. You add that extra lime flavor in the meat itself.
Ooh,
it's really good.
Was the local store out here I bought the pre-marinated carne asada, so it was already marinated before. So because I do that the night before, so I don't have to worry about it. I just buy it, throw it in the fridge next day, lay it out on the grill, warm it all up, chop it all up, throw it in the pan, and then I use the tecate. For
it's interesting. I have a friend of mine from, I got his carne asada recipe and his bean recipe from his grandmother. She passed many years ago. But best Mexican beans in the world.
Are those those are the beans you usually make, right?
Yes.
Those beans are bomb.
Yeah, and it came from her. She's from way down in Mexico. It was her recipe, and then her carne asada recipe too. Carnitas and carne asada recipe that I used. Well, what's interesting is here it's carne asada. You've got one of the things you soak it in. One of the main things is beer. It's soaking in beer for like 2 days. With all the lime juices, with onions, with cilantro, with all the other stuff you put in, the garlic. So all this stuff's in there. I have tried Corona. I have tried Budweiser. I've tried all these different beers when I made this. And he always used Coors Light because that was what he drank. And his carne asada was just awesome. Something, I'm going to make it better. I'm going to use like Coronas or something. Turned out
like a nice beer.
Crap, right? The only 2 beers I found that work is Coors Light and Tecate. I've tried all kinds of other beers making this carne asada, and they taste good, but they're not the same without either Coors Light or Tecate. Whatever it is that they have, the way they're doing it, it works with meat.
The question is then, do we need to try Busch PBR?
Yeah, try some other real crap beers.
Some Natty Ice.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know if that would help.
Ice.
Or if that's going too far.
The ice beers. Have you ever had those ice beers?
Natty Ice? No. What is it? Ice
Have you
something.
Bud Ice.
Listen, here's what I think of Bud when not Bud Ice but Bud Light. I love you, man.
What's up? What's up?
Oh, I love you, man.
What's up?
Where's my Bud Light?
No, there's years ago, my wife's gonna be upset over this one. So me and a bunch of buddies are camping, and we had brought cases and cases and cases of beer. We're out camping in the middle of we're at a lake. Fisherman's Retreat down in California, and we ran out of beer. I don't know how many cases we got. There was 4 or 5 of us. We probably bought 30 cases of beer, and we literally ran out of beer in like 2 days. So we drank a lot of beer from like all night long to when we got up to when we went to bed. And my buddy, he passed away a little bit ago. Big Dave.
R.I.P.
Yep. So, but he was there, and he drank Bud Light, and so did I at the time. And then my buddy John, he drank Coors Light. So we get the girls, we call them up, and we go, hey, we need more beer. And they're going, we're not bringing you beer. We're not going to the store just to bring. And I mean, they were miles away at home, right? And we're camping out in the middle. We're like, no, you got to bring us some beer. We ran out. And they're going, we're not bringing you beer. We're not driving all the way out there. We're like, okay, that's fine. We'll get in the car and go get our own. We'll bring you some beer. It's like they knew how much we brought. And if we ran out, we probably shouldn't be driving at this point, right? So, okay, we'll get you some beer. So Becky goes there to get beer. Well, Bud Ice and Bud Light, the boxes were pretty similar.
The blue.
Well, she didn't bother to read what the boxes actually said, just picture shopped, and came back with all this Bud Ice. That is the nastiest beer in the world.
But let me ask you something. Did you drink it?
We did. We did because it's all we had. So she shows up with this Bud Ice. We're going, oh, never had this before. Shh, break it open. Oh, this is bad. You got to go back to the store and get more. You know, and they're like, no. We already went to the store and got you beer. You drink that crap right there, and we're leaving. And they did. The wives left. They left. So we're stuck with this Bud Ice crap. So we drank it. It seems we ran out of it too, though. I think we drank all of it.
You drank all of it?
Yeah, we drank it all.
Yeah,
we didn't care.
That happens.
It was like that was just one of those drunken weekends, you know, when you're younger and you just kind of drink one after another. And I don't even know if we ate. I mean, I think beer was our calories that whole weekend.
Yeah. I was gonna say when I was younger, I was just thankful. Growing up, like my time of drinking, PBR was so damn cheap. PBR was $10 for a 24-pack or a 30 cube.
Dude,
so
let me put it in perspective when I grew up. I remember seven.
Listen, hold on. The value of the dollar when you grew up versus the value of the dollar when I grew up are two different statements.
I remember 7-Eleven throwing Old Milwaukee on sale.
How much?
12-pack was $2 for a 12-pack.
Okay, what year was this?
Probably 85, I'm guessing, 85, 86.
Ooh, okay, so 85. I want to see let's see what the value of the dollar was in 1985.
You do that. So Old Milwaukee, because we would all scrounge our change together to buy, 12-pack of Old Milwaukee. Man. But when we were doing really well, one of us got paid, it was always Molson Ale. Molson Ale, man. That was our beer back then. Which is kind of bizarre. Here we're drinking Canadian beer, in Southern California. And most people didn't even know what Molson was back then. Buddy of mine tried it, I think, sometime and loved it.
Okay, so $100 in 1985 in today's date.
Well, I just gave away some of my age, didn't I, when I said 85? I'm drinking beer.
So $100,
how much was it?
$100 in 1985. How much do you think it would be worth today?
I have no idea.
$234.
Nice. See?
So $2. Let's try 2. Let's just put 2 in there. Let's see what happens.
Well, 2%. 2% of 2 something.
$4.68. So a 12-pack was $4.68.
That's cheap, dude.
So that's still cheap.
Yeah, that's cheap.
In 1985.
Yeah, that's cheap.
That's still cheap. So I'll give you that. $4.68 for a 12-pack?
$4.68 for a 12-pack.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man. I drink a lot of Old Milwaukee back then. And that was like the worst beer in the world. Oh, there was another one, too, that everybody had to drink. And I didn't like it personally. Well, there was 2. What's the one that's in the little grenade bottle? It looked like a grenade. Everybody liked it for some reason. I don't remember what the heck was that? If one of you guys know it, you got to make a comment about it.
What was it?
It looked like a little. It was in a grenade bottle. It looked like a little grenade, and it was a green bottle. I thought it was the most terrible beer back then. But all my buddies loved it. There was that, and then the ones with the top on it with the puzzles underneath.
I don't know either of these.
Oh, really?
You were dating yourself, my friend.
Beer with puzzles under the cap. You got to Google that. Beer with puzzles under the cap.
Beer.
Somebody's sitting there listening, going, "Dude, it's that." Maybe I had too many of them back then. I don't remember.
And you're probably not listening to us live, so you can't tell us. So.
Yeah. You can come online and tell us whatever the hell that beer was. I'm almost done with my beer, dude. You got to get off Google.
I'm trying to look this stuff up for you.
Google,
good Lord.
Google knows what you are. Google knows everything.
Lucky beer?
That's Lucky. That's it. Lucky Lager.
Damn, dude.
Are you?
Don't scream into the mic.
Are you feeling lucky?
You know these things are so loud, and you screaming into the mic doesn't help.
Boo.
Make me go deaf. I feel bad for all you listeners.
So have you ever had Lucky Lager, dude?
It sounds familiar, so I feel like I might have.
Oh, you know what was fun? Now, it was like this beer. It's only like 11 ounces per something. That's what always pissed me off about it.
Yeah, I saw the photo. It was like a little. It almost looked like Red Stripe. Like
yeah,
small little thing,
yeah. It looked like. But you open them up, and underneath each cap was like playing a game of concentration.
Yeah, the puzzles actually. You can look them up. They show you all of them.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of cool.
So you sit there and you try to figure it out. And go, I got it. And you pass it on to your buddy, and then after a case of these, you're going, dude, I don't know what the fuck it says. I have no clue, man. What's it? You can't even see the pictures because there's two of them, But
so I guess you drink until you can't figure it out.
Pretty much. That's pretty much. That was the idea of the game. That was the game. So, of course, you're playing quarters back then and everything else. We didn't have beer pong. We played quarters.
Beer pong's kind of annoying. That's a generational thing, absolutely. And I'm a millennial, and I don't like it.
Really, you don't like beer pong?
I'm not a fan.
I don't mind it. I'll sit and play it.
It's fun.
I got to be in a mood for it.
Yeah, whiskey pong.
That would be good. I mentioned
you got to get the big whiskey. You got to get like the big shot glasses with the wide opening, so the bottle will actually fit in. And you pour a shot of whiskey in each one. That's dangerous.
Yeah,
that's 9 shots of whiskey.
You put a shot behind each glass or something too. I guess.
No. You put it in there. Well, I mean, you got to be careful with that because you don't want it to spoil out. But that's why you use like the big cups.
Yeah.
Like even if you use like cocktail cup, because those are big enough, and then it won't splash out.
We came up with a new game when we were out one time too. Horseshoe, Jack Daniel's Horseshoe. And you only can play a couple of games of this. But what we would do is, as we played horseshoes, if somebody got points on you, whatever the difference was in the points, the loser had to do that many shots. Or that many swigs out of the bottle. We would do swigs. It wasn't necessarily a shot. It was just swigs.
A swig. So
we would sit and pass the bottle around doing this. So you get somebody that scores, 5 points on you one time. You're doing that 5 times. And then at the end of the game, whatever you lost by, you had to do that many swigs too. So we used to call it. I was out in the desert one time with my son and a bunch of friends, and we were playing Jack Daniels. You only made it about 2 games, most of us, and you were pretty much done. You didn't want to play anymore. It's like the winner of it, who was really good at it, is going, "Come on, man! How come nobody's playing?"
And let me guess,
because we're all on the ground.
And still, camping rules applied during that, right?
Oh, of course, camping rules apply. Hell yeah, they apply. Camping rules never go away.
I would share what camping rules are for all of you out there, but I kind of don't want to in case I never go camping with any of you.
Okay, I'm gonna say camping rules. It don't matter. All right, I got a bottle of Jack right here, right?
Yeah, take a swig first.
Oh, yeah, I take a drink. I pass it to him. Now, because there's no cap on it,
I have to drink.
He has to drink. Now, he can choose to put the cap on it, or pass it to somebody else. They have to take a drink. And then if they choose to put the cap on or pass it to somebody else, however that works, it'll go until somebody finally puts a cap on it, which usually happens pretty quick. But then whenever somebody gets the urge to have a swig, they open it up, they take a swig, and hand it to whoever you want. You got to take a swig.
Camping rules.
Yeah.
I highly encourage that, by the way, if you ever go camping.
I don't just do it at
Let me
camp
preface,
anymore.
so none of you sue me. You must be of age and must be 21.
Yes, there we go. You must be of age.
And then if you're of age, you must drink responsibly.
Yes, drinking alcohol is bad for you, as the Surgeon General says. Okay.
Oh, wait, there's a warning on here. What does it say? Government. Ooh, it's a government warning.
There you go. You know what? I wonder if that warning's in
It's not. It's English.
That's what I mean. I bet you they don't do that in France.
Yeah, because this was bottled and imported out of Massachusetts.
There you go.
But it's according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects.
Duh.
Consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car
or
operate machinery and may cause health problems.
Really?
AKA, if you drink, you will die.
Yeah. And
hold on. Let me preface that. If you live, you will die.
That's true. But here's what's stupid is they actually have to tell people this. I mean, I find that amazing that you have to tell somebody that you shouldn't drink while you're pregnant. Really? That's kind of duh. You can't drive very well after you've drank a little bit.
Duh.
Let's see. Or machinery. You shouldn't operate machinery. I mean, And it may cause health problems.
Well, in machinery, let me put it this way. I have a friend, and if you ever listen to this, you'll know who you are. He used to say the day I can't do my job drunk is the day I should be fired.
Well, there you go, I guess. I mean, it's amazing some of these stupid just think somebody had to sue in order to put that on there. Fan belts. I always joke around about a fan belt for a car. Do you know what the first direction is on fan belts?
I do, because you've told me.
Yeah.
You've literally told me that.
Turn the engine off?
Yeah, turn the engine off.
Yeah, don't try to change your fan belt with it running.
So
what dumbass did this and then sued to get that put on there? I mean, seriously.
The other day I stopped to get gas, like a normal human being, stop at a gas pump and get gas. Somebody was filling up their car and their engine was on.
Dumbass. Yeah. There's signs all over the place to say,
I'm sitting there filling up my car, and I look behind me, and this guy pulls up, normal, and I don't think anything of it. And I look over, and he's filling it up, and I hear his engine running. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just the radiator, right? Like, maybe it's just the fan or running, something, because it's so hot out here. But then he finished before I did, and he got in the car and drove off. Now,
with his check engine light on now, by the way, because that usually turns it on.
Probably, but it's probably on because, as I found out talking to people, the majority of people don't change their oil.
Well, if you don't change your oil and your oil goes down, you're not driving much farther anyway because your engine just stops. It'll just seize your motor.
Right, but then like I've met people now and found out that most people don't know that
you really have to change it.
Like every 3,000 to 5,000 miles.
It's kind of a good idea. Yeah.
Like change your oil, regular car maintenance, like car maintenance. Like so, I had
people are stupid.
I've had 2 Saturns in my life. Taking the first one, 250,000 miles. The second Saturn, I got with like 100,000 and took it to 3.
Yeah.
And people were like, "You took a Saturn how far?" And I was like, 300,000 miles. Like what? I don't.
You maintained it.
I don't understand. Like they're like, "Well, you really took care of this thing." I'm like, "Well, I took it in for regular maintenance every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Like, got the oil changed, rotated tires.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like basic car stuff.
Don't take care of their vehicles.
Yeah, and people are literally just like, well, most people don't do that, or not most people, but a lot of people don't do that. And I was like,
and that's why their car doesn't go that far.
And now I'm like, this is why people are afraid to use cars because they have no idea how to take care of them.
Yeah,
and it's literally like growing up because I'm not a car person. You are like you've worked on cars. Growing up, I just knew like regular maintenance. Like my dad always took the car and like he knew a mechanic, so regular maintenance was always done on cars, like a normal thing. So I'm like, I've always wanted to learn about cars. I'm like, I really want to work on cars. Like they always have all these problems and everything. And then like the older I get, now that I'm learning,
plus it's manly.
What's manly
men?
But
we're manly men. We're men are men, and sheep are afraid.
Anyway, I'm just back
Timmy. Timmy!
Real quick, we'll finish the car thing. Cars, whatever. Work on them, do your regular maintenance. Timmy. So, to go to Timmy, since you're changing the subject real quick, this article came out this week. This is one article I did read like last week on Timmy.
About your buddy.
About Timmy.
Dude, when's he coming over for dinner?
So, to that point, he may actually end up in Vegas instead of at the Mets.
Really?
Because he's playing for the AA Mets.
Is he going to go for 51s, or what's he going to play?
Correct. So
the
team he's playing for right now is the AA affiliate of the Mets, which is in Florida.
So you're going to go see him play?
So in order to go to AAA, he'd have to come to Vegas to play for the 51s.
Yeah, get him to sign your shirt, man.
I am not going to go see him play, but yo, Tim.
You ought to go, man.
You want to have a drink? Coffee, water.
Hey, he had to come in and do the show with us.
Hey, by all means, I got a little. We'll buy you some juice boxes.
Jimmy! Hey, crack that other beer, man.
We got to rate this one.
Oh, yeah, that's right, man. Okay.
Squirrel.
You're right. I'll admit to it, man. Okay, the French here. 1664 Kronenberg, the French. Fuck you. But with their beer, the beer's not bad. It's a drinkable beer. My concern with it, or I shouldn't say concern, my beef with it is it's only 11.2 ounces. They're ripping you off out of 0.8 ounces here in America.
Yeah.
It's probably maybe this isn't even normal in Europe. This is just this is a sample beer.
It is French.
Yeah. Oui. Anyway, I would give this actually out of 2, probably 1.5. I'll jump right in. I'll say 1.5.
You can do 1.5.
So 1.5. It's not bad. It's really not that bad.
So here's my thing. I want to give it a 1.5.
Okay.
Because that was where my head was.
But you just don't like the damn French either.
Correct. So I'm dropping
That's probably what's dropping me down to 1.5, because it'd probably be like a 1.6, 1 3/4. But
I wouldn't go that high. I'd go 1.5 with it, because it's definitely something like if it's at a party or something, it's my only option. I'll definitely drink it because it's not bad. But because it's French, it automatically gets knocked down to I got to do quarters, so 1 1/4.
1 1/4.
I'm not going to go as low as a 1. I'm not going to be that.
So we're 2 3/4.
Yeah, we're 2 3/4.
2 3/4 for it.
So all right, it's worth it.
So
unfortunately, it's like John Calvin, like French. The damn French. Even though you won the World Cup, and all of you people got mad at Trevor Noah for his rant for making fun of the French. Good Lord, get over it, people.
Fuck the French. Although they have good Nutella. Nutella's good.
What's up with people in Europe and Nutella? I don't get it.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
You ever eaten Nutella?
I've had it.
It's not bad.
It's all right.
All right. I got the last one in one pop.
Oh! Missed.
Fail! Fail!
I suck at it. At least I admit it.
Yeah. By the way, guys, if you ever see how we open these, it's not even a screwdriver. We do it with
yourself.
We do it with a Phillips.
Redeem yourself.
So it's not even a flat blade. You got to do it the manly way.
Redeem yourself, please.
You know, is this actually a twist off, and that's what I'm doing? No,
it's not.
Because twist offs will do that.
Right.
All right.
There you go. Redeem.
You know, the only reason you had me do that because you didn't want to do it after you watched me struggle.
Well, I knew I was going to struggle, so I didn't care. I'll take this one. You redeemed yourself on that one. I'm not going to take your redemption beer.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. So we got New Belgium, Voodoo Ranger,
Imperial IPA.
It is...
Ooh, the guy's got a gold.
Is that 8 or 9%?
I don't think it was it that high. 9% by volume.
Whoa,
wow.
This one's pretty high.
A rare blend of choice hops create an explosion of French cup pine and citrus flavors for a complex, rich,
I
and delicious
remember
finish.
New Belgium. This is the ones by Flat Tire.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember, because we had another one
Flat
from it,
Tire.
but you didn't like it.
See, I don't like Flat Tire.
Well, that's because if you put air in the tire, it actually works.
So, what's the real name of it? Fat Tire.
Fat Tire.
Yeah, I've always called them Flat Tire.
Because you have a Fat Tire bike.
I do have a Fat Tire bike, actually.
A very nice one with some ape hangers on it. And a cool cup holder.
Okay. Not too bad. Very strong IPA.
I'm starting to like IPAs.
You obviously are, because this one's actually pretty strong.
It's
for an
really
IPA.
hoppy.
It is very hoppy. Imperial India Pale Ale. Hey, look at this. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy.
Sounds like the last label.
Yes, because of the risk of birth defects. Consumption of alcohol beverages impairs your ability to drive a car or machinery.
Operate machinery.
I wonder if that applies to lawnmowers.
I wonder if it applies to what we're doing right now.
We're operating machinery.
We're operating machinery.
We are operating machinery. Hello.
Hello.
This is machinery.
You know what this is? The Imperial. Oh, what are you doing? No. Give me the
Oh. What's that one do? I don't know. Another echo.
Go to ridiculous speed.
You don't have echo anymore.
Ridiculous echo? No.
Yeah, you're screwed. That's what happens when you put me, after drinking a beer, in charge of machinery.
Listen, Imperial IPA. I was going for the Imperial March out of Star Wars, but I was thinking of going after Rick Moranis. Ridiculous speed.
Anyway.
Where are we in the movie? We're right now, sir. Where? Now. This part.
Dave's not here. You don't even know what that's from, do you? You're not. Are you even old enough for that, dude?
Dave, that's Space Odyssey. No? 2001 Space Odyssey? Good morning, Dave.
Dave's not here?
Dave's not here.
No. It's Cheech and Chong, dude.
Well, yeah, I told you I haven't seen this movie.
Dave.
We've had this conversation.
Dave's not here. Would you believe this guy has never, ever seen Cheech and Chong? Dude, you got to see Cheech and Chong. You're coming over to the house. We're going to sit and watch Cheech and Chong. Walla chingam, man, is that a joint? Holy cow, man, that's a quarter pounder, eh?
Hey, at least weed's legal in our state.
So news.
Suckers!
So I read this story earlier today, which I thought was kind of jacked up.
I am. And we got one news story about Timmy. Timmy! Yo, you coming to Vegas?
There's
we got a chair for you.
There's a family out of Pennsylvania that has a 35-acre farm, and they hold Christian events on it. They do Bible studies. They do, with only a couple people. They do that like once a week. They hold other events where they do fundraisers for the church.
And this is on their property.
This is on their property, 35 acres.
Like
on
private
their
property.
Well, apparently somebody complained that they were doing religious events on their property. And the city's now coming down on them and saying they gave them a cease and desist. They can't do it. They have permits to do this. Now, they also are a farm, so they sell now commercially on their property without permits. They are selling all their veggies. They're doing stuff like they do classes on how to grow vegetables.
But that's all commercial stuff.
They do free classes on how to grow stuff, right? They actually hold classes. They hold these Bible study classes, but they're only coming down on the church stuff. They're saying they need a permit to hold any religious activity on their own property, and to run a Bible study is considered a school, so they need special permits to be a school now, but not to do the schooling for farming. That's what the city's doing to these people.
Well, my look is confusion in the way they went about it, because there was a family in San Diego probably 5-6 years ago. They were running a Bible study out of their house.
Okay.
And they were in, they're actually outside of downtown. So, you've been to San Diego several times.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
How tightly everything
I'll be there this weekend.
So they were running a Bible study out of their house. Well, they got shut down for permanent reasons because neighbors were complaining that they were hosting a Bible study in their house, which happens, in every town across this country.
Exactly.
Happens all over the place. They got them shut down because neighbors were complaining about the parking spots. And they told them they were a house of worship, and they couldn't do it anymore. I didn't follow the story forward because I couldn't follow the story anymore because people who were defending them were freaking out about religious persecution, and that's not religious persecution. This is an issue of pissing off your neighbors, and I get that, especially where this town was when they showed a picture of where this town was and where this house was kind of tucked away. Mm-hmm. There was no parking. Like, if you lived in that neighborhood and they were hosting a Bible study, you probably weren't parking in front of your house, which I agree. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And at that point, depending on where there is parking, because usually when you have
if it's public parking, though, it's public parking.
Correct.
That's too damn bad.
But as Christians, you should at least tell the people to park, like, at least leave spots for the neighbors. Like, if you know there's certain neighbors that are parking,
be courteous.
Be courteous as a Christian. Like, hey guys, at least make sure there's room for
park
people.
Couple streets.
Right.
Yeah, park down the block
and walk over. Like, cause you've been to San Diego. If you can't park there isn't. But there's always like down the block or something. You're always going to find some parking.
They charge you everywhere in San Diego anymore.
Unfortunately, but like, and so I got that aspect. But people who were writing about it, defending them, were just so nuts about the persecution angle. I just couldn't follow the article, so I have no idea what happened about it. Yeah. But
the persecution is kind of ridiculous. But this one I find kind of interesting because it's a farm. They all park on their property. They're allowed to supposedly do classes teaching farm stuff, but now they can't do Bible study classes because they have to get a school permit, and they can't do any events. They wrote back to the council, and the council said, no. Oh, by the way, they've been doing this since 2003. This is something new. They've actually been doing these events and all this since 2003. So nobody said anything prior to that until somebody decided to complain about it. Mm-hmm. So now they're doing this to them. Well, they stopped doing it all. They abided by the cease and desist. They went in front of city council, and city council basically told them, no, screw you. This is the way it is. This is what you got to do. They're going, but we're doing all this other stuff, and you didn't mention it. That's okay. So now they've got an attorney, and now they're actually going to go through the legal aspect.
And now it's going to be a First Amendment issue.
Exactly.
Because they're not applying. I mean, and we have lawyers who watch this, so they can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would assume if you're not applying the law equally, at least it gives the lawyer the First Amendment right, which I'm assuming now that they got a lawyer involved, their city attorney is going to say, okay, Now that they got it, you're gonna have to cut it all. You're gonna have to apply the law equally.
And see, here's what's interesting: it's all the neighbors do classes. All the neighbors do events on their property.
So
they're the only one that's getting some religious person, anti-religious person is
in the town,
but
nobody who lives there.
Nobody of their immediate neighbors. It doesn't sound like it. Sounds like it's just somebody within the town.
Okay,
that doesn't like it. The fact they're doing it.
So based off this, I have a beef
and using the law on their side.
Oh, people, stop being offended.
Yeah.
Stop finding.
There's no doubt.
Stop finding your value in what others think about you. Like, stop. When I grew up, and even through my mid-20s, I remember the saying amongst everybody was, "I don't care what you think. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't care. I don't care." That used to be the thing, right? Like, say whatever you want. I don't care what you think. I'm my own person. Now, it was always crap because you could always hurt the person what you said. But the mindset, at least, was, I want to get to a point where I don't care what you think. That was the mindset. Now we live in a world where everybody puts their... And maybe it's never been explained to people. Well, you're giving people power over you.
Here. Sticks and stones may break my bones.
And words will never hurt me.
Yeah. I mean, that was a saying we all learned as a little kid.
Right.
And, it was... Maybe somebody said something to you that would hurt. Let's face it. People say something to you that hurt.
Words are going to hurt.
But you might say that, and it was a relief. It's like, you know what? Let me reinforce this. I don't give a shit what you think. I'm moving on because you don't create my value. And that would that's what that reinforced. Nowadays, oh my God. I mean, I'll make fun of millennials about this all day long. It's like, that just offends me. I need to go into my safe house room or whatever the fuck it is they want to do nowadays.
Can I clarify something real quick? Because I just saw a thing, like, millennials are like 38 to 18, so a lot of these offended people are like lower level millennials, I thought, next generation.
Wait a minute, I thought millennials started at around 25 now. It's 25 to 35, 25 to 38. I think under that is now the Z generation.
Well, that's the thing. All these people you're talking about,
Z's even worse.
They're Z's. They're not.
Z's worse.
They're not. But they're not millennials.
Your younger millennials are that way.
Younger millennials.
Oh, so I'm at the gym. This was a while back, right? A couple months ago, I'm sitting there working out. An attorney,
squirrel.
An attorney comes on the advertisement because I had to laugh my ass off. Right. So he sues. He'll do lawsuits from you if you've been injured, hurt, all this other stuff.
Typical injury attorney.
Ambulance chaser. And he even goes on to say at the end, if you've been offended by what somebody said and you got your feelings hurt, I can sue for that too. What? Are you fucking kidding me? And what's hilarious is I'm sitting there working out. The guy behind me didn't think I was listening or something. Out of the blue, just blurps out, goes, "My feelings are hurt." I had to start laughing. Did you get your feelings hurt? Oh, maybe he ought to buy them all a fucking safe room that they can sit in. I mean, it's stupid.
I just so I was actually thinking about it at the gym this morning. I was thinking two things after listening to the chapter of the book we were going through. Mm-hmm. Two things were done to me. One was the mission field that America is that has been lost because this country is a mission field at this point.
Oh yeah.
At this point,
the country's lost.
I'm not going to go that far. I would say in terms of Christian,
much of it.
In terms of Christian doctrine, we have the idolized American church, and then we have the actual doctrine.
Yeah.
And the doctrine is such a small population of the people. I mean, we hear it all the time. Well, what about Christians? And it's like, the people you're describing are not disciples. They're people who claim to be Christian because they grew up in America. Mm-hmm. And they worship something other than the Bible. Yeah. Or not other than the Bible. You don't worship the Bible.
Yeah.
Worshiping something other than the God of the Bible. Which is just a whole generation of people is lost. Where America is turned into this giant mission field. But it's harder because, as we know from what Christ said, it's hard for the rich to get into heaven. Mm-hmm. Well, I was listening to one thing. Do you know what the 1% of the world's level of income starts at? Did we talk about that on the show?
No.
So take a while. What do you think the 1% for global standard? Okay, take
global standard.
Global standard. Is not an American standard. If you want to be in the 1% of the globe, what do you think the income level is that you need to make?
40,000.
34.
That's close. Yeah.
It is. 34,000 is.
I believe that.
If you make more than $34,000 a year,
you're in 1%.
You're in the 1% on a global standard.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Everyone's like, "Well, America's different." Okay, we're 300 million people in a globe of 7 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, we are spoiled, rotten children.
Yes. Oh, there's no doubt.
We are spoiled, rotten children in this country when we complain.
We just talked about it tonight. What's the average person the area they grow up in? The average person never leaves more than, I had read 5 miles. You said 10 miles.
One other guy heard 100 miles.
Yeah, so we all know most people never leave the area that they're really grown up in. Mm-hmm. You know, they stay in that particular area of town, that county, that state. Yeah. Most people stay there in America. They do this, and if you ask...
See, I read it was global. I read it was global.
See, I read America. Now, mine was America that I read.
Yeah, mine was global.
Because mine was picking on Americans and the fact that they don't move. And that's maybe why mine was 5 miles. So
that's why mine was larger.
Yeah, so it could be dependent on your region. And every single one of them, they said, I can say everyone, but the majority of them that they would ask all said that where I live, I don't leave because it's the best place in the world to live. Mm-hmm. Well, if you've never been anywhere else, how do you know it's the best place in the world to live? Now, here's the thing. I've been to France. I don't like France. I've been there. Didn't like it. Don't want to go. I mean, I may go back someday, but I didn't like it. I'm telling you. It just wasn't an enjoyable country to be in. So when I got off that plane and I'm watching French people argue and fight with each other, I mean, we hear that they're assholes to us. They're assholes to each other. Literally. They were fighting in an airport because they're all cutting in line with each other to get on the train. No, I'm out. Bye.
I mean, it's the same thing. In the U.S., we hear about how bad Mexico is all the time. But it's Mexico. The same time, you talk to people outside the U.S., and they talk about how bad the crime is. But then when you look at people, it's like, what are you talking about? Oh, Chicago, D.C., L.A., and specific parts of those cities that the crime is really, really bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you talk about Mexico, it's like,
it's the same thing.
The crime's so bad. Okay, yeah, don't go to those areas. Like, I think it's the south side of Chicago, everyone says, is where all that crime happens in that kind of region. I've never been to Chicago, so I don't know. I'm going based off what people say in the media. But, like, I'm smart enough to know.
Here's the thing. You go to Mexico, don't go to Juarez.
Well, duh, right?
But they get all the crime rate statistics. We get all that. And a lot of it, comes from places like Juarez.
And that's the thing. Like, I have friends who live in Chicago. I know people who live there. It's a great city. Like, it's a beautiful city. It's a great town. But there's parts of the town that is crime rated. You go to any city in America.
We're here in Vegas. There's parts of Vegas you should probably stay out of if you're not prepared to go in there.
Correct. And there's plenty of places in every major city all across. But it's like you only hear about those bad parts depending on the city you go to. And it's like this fear that people have. And
here's something interesting. We've talked about this. You go into a bad area too. And a lot of it's mindset and how you act when you're there. Going for me, I used to wrestle at East LA College. And so I was in East LA quite a bit. We all hear about East LA. It's not a great area. And I would drive over there.
Wasn't Cheechin born in East LA?
Born in East LA. Born in Squirrel. But I would go into areas like that, Compton, Watts, Inglewood, some of those areas. I never thought twice about anything, when I would drive into those areas. And it just didn't concern me because I wasn't worried about it. And I think that's a lot of it too. And people get stressed. They get worried about just the other day I was in an area north, I'm at the rescue mission. And going north of that is an area of town that most people probably don't want to be in, the letter streets.
Yeah.
So I'm in there the other night and I was looking something up and I was playing a game. And so I'm on my phone. Across the street is a party going on of a different type of group of people, I should say, that I'm probably shouldn't be in that area. And one of them actually yelled at me, "Hey, what are you doing there?" And I'm like, I'm just looking something up on my phone, man. Is everything all right? And he's like, "Yeah, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, dude. How you doing, man?" So we had a conversation. And as we had a conversation, we had no problem. It's like the time I was in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you told me about the barbecue.
Yeah, so I'm in Brooklyn, right? And I had friends of mine that even said, too, they go, "Don't go to this area." We have a guy in one of our Bible studies says, "You went to Brooklyn, really? And you walked through that area?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had no problem with it." So there's an area, the projects in Brooklyn. Well, it was one block over from the hotel we're staying. We're staying in a nice hotel. It was one block over from it, and we were at a party on the other side of that. And everybody said, the local said, "Don't walk there take an Uber, take a taxi, do something. Don't cross through it. Don't walk. So me, I throw on my kilt, and I'm going for a walk, man. So I'm walking through this park. It's night now. The park has no lights in it. It's dark, and I'm walking through this park. The projects are across the street. And you can see it's a project because it actually says the projects on the sign. So you know that's what it is. And it looks like these buildings you see on TV and all that stuff. So I'm walking through this park, and this guy yells at me, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I said, "Nothing. What are you doing here?" And he goes, "Making some chicken." And he's out there barbecuing in the park, and I said, "Give me a piece." So, all right. So I went over there, and I'm eating chicken with this guy in a park, and you can see around, there's drug dealers in the park. I mean, everything you would see on TV, you can see in this park that was going on. But there was also children playing with families in this park. I mean, it's the projects across the street. This is their neighborhood. This is what they know. But I'm not of the right ethnicity to be there, I should say. But it didn't matter. I didn't care. I don't care who they are. I don't care what you are. I hung out with this guy and had some chicken with him. He was a nice guy.
People are people. What do you say? People are people wherever you go, but the weather and the government are the only things that change.
The scenery we look at and the government you live under are the only things you change. Yeah. Yep, our environment around us. Yeah, people are people everywhere. The only thing that changes is the environment we look at and the government we live under. Mm-hmm. I've said that for many years now.
People are people.
They are.
Like, it's kind of sad today we live in this fractured society where we can't just look at people as people.
It is. It's really too bad, you know?
And I know everyone's saying that's because of your white privilege. Okay, motherfuckers.
Bullshit. You know, and like I said, I hung out at this park with this guy, eating some chicken, having a great time. We enjoyed a good conversation. I was late to the party I was supposed to go to, and people were asking me, too. They're like, "Where have you been?" You know, and I'm like, I
got my ass beat in the projects.
I told them what I did, and some of the locals were like, "Dude, you shouldn't be walking through there." And I'm like, "Why? There's nothing wrong with those. The people were great there. I had no problems."
Well, that's like the big problem with the American church. Like, growing up with friends, like, when you grow up on a skateboard, well, I can't say that today, but when I grew up on a skateboard, it was a lot of lower income people, right? Like, it was a lot of people who didn't have money. Like, a lot of people in the hood.
Yeah.
And so growing up with a lot of friends who grew up in the hood, it was just another person's house. And the difference I saw between, like, the city of Commerce, I didn't know anyone who lived in Commerce, but I did some mission work in junior high in South Central, and like the only big difference I saw between my neighborhood and those neighborhoods is older homes with people who didn't have the money to fix them up. Like, that was it. Like, it was an older home where they just didn't, like, they would do repairs as needed. Yeah. They couldn't really remodel because they didn't have the money to do it.
They'd love to do it, but...
Right, they wanted to. They just didn't have the money to. Like, they just weren't at the income level where they go and tear a whole kitchen out and remodel it. So it's when the fridge went, you'd replace it. When the stove went, you'd replace it. When the counter went, you'd replace it as you could. Mm-hmm. You slowly did it. You know, like, it's not like these people didn't want to do it. They just had to do it as they had the means.
Yeah.
You know, and it's probably better than most of the people in upper echelon because they're not leveraging themselves with debt. They're paying for it in cash because they don't have any other way to pay for it. So at least they're doing it as they can afford it. Whereas people in a rich neighborhood are leveraging themselves, pulling out a ton of, I don't have 50 grand, but I can go get someone to give me a loan for 50 grand to redo my house.
The high school I went to, most of my friends were Hispanic, and many of them were in a gang back then. Plus, they were in a gang, and they
hang out with gangbangers.
Maybe
you're going to hell.
Right.
Drink beer, tattooed, hang out with gangbangers, running through the hood.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man.
Smoked dope back then, everything.
Trying to get me to watch Up and Smoke.
That's right, man.
You're gonna go to hell.
Well, a chingada, man. Is that a joint? Here, let me get one for you, man. That's let me see. That's right. I know it's in here, man. No, that's my dick. Here you go, man. That's part of the movie. But you got to see it, dude.
I ain't touching shit that came out of that
pocket. Dude, it's an awesome movie, man. You got to see it. Low riders drive a little slower. You got to see the beginning of it, man. So you won't get that till you see the movie.
No, but I know the song, and I understand the driving slower aspect, because all these stupid commercials have people getting high and running kids over because they're going too fast and moving too quick. It's like, that person obviously never smoked weed in their life.
Oh, my God, no.
Because anyone who's ever smoked weed in their life knows the last thing on earth that you want to do is move quick.
Okay, here's Cheech and Chong, man. They park in the center divider. You know, he drives up in the center divider because he's too stoned. And he's sitting there, and he's like, the car's full of smoke. He's like, dude, man. Hey, man, are we parked? You know? There's John going, I think so, man. Oh, shit, there's a cop, man. He just went by. Dude, you got to see the movie, man.
Squirrel.
Squirrels are awesome.
They are. Especially Slappy Squirrel from the Animaniacs.
You know, I just downloaded the movie Up the other night.
I still haven't seen it.
Just so because that's a movie with Squirrel in it, I think.
Yeah, from the dog.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
With the grandpa and the dog and the Boy Scout.
Yeah, they go flying in a balloon or something.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've heard.
I've never seen it. My wife tells me it's good.
Everyone told me they cried at the end of it.
I don't know.
It's like Toy Story 3. Every guy who's ever had toys like cries at the end of it.
Do they in Toy Story 3?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. I don't know. Toy Story was great. I don't know if I saw 3.
It was good. Okay. All 3 Toy Stories are really good.
So. I love it. The best scene in Toy Story. Best scene. Potato Head pulls his nose off and rubs it on his ass. Did you catch that? It was adult humor. It was a kiss ass. Or no, he pulled his lips off. Oh, he's like rubbing it on his ass. There was something going on at one point.
I vaguely remember this now. Like the nose, I don't.
Yeah, no, it was his lips. It wasn't his nose. It was his lips.
And he rubbed it. Yeah,
he rubs it on his ass. Yeah, because he's referring to a kiss ass.
Well, I was gonna say,
there was so much adult humor in that.
Listen, that's Foghorn, Foghat, or whatever his name is, the giant chicken in Looney Tunes.
Yes,
that was one of the most racist characters on the face of the planet. Because I remember years ago, I was sitting at home, Looney Tunes came on, I was at my parents' house, and all of a sudden I was like, well, it's Looney Tunes. I grew up watching this, so I'm sitting there watching it, listening to Foghorn talk to the dog and the little chicken, and I remember just sitting there, my jaw dropped. I remember this vividly. I'm sitting on the couch, I'm watching this, listening to the shit that came out of that chicken's mouth.
Yeah.
Jaws on the floor. I look at my mom like, how on God's green earth? Now, my mom was one of the most Christian people on the face of the planet. I'm like, how on earth did you let me watch this? Like, do you hear what's coming out of his mouth right now? Like, just looking at her like, do you hear this? I remember this episode. I remember the dog.
But that was like regular stuff back when we were kids.
But I listened, and she looked at me, and her exact words were, do you remember him saying any of that when you were a kid? I was like, no! That's why I'm asking you why you let me watch it. Like, that's why.
Yeah, you never
and just shut it down because
it's adult humor.
Right. As adults, you can enjoy the cartoon.
Yeah.
But as kids, you had no idea what they were saying.
Could you imagine a show like Archie Bunker being on today?
Oh, they talk about that all the time. That'd be gone.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that was on in the 70s and the 80s would all be gone.
Yeah. I mean,
heck, nowadays, the Cosby Show, they probably will ban that, even though it was...
Because I'm offended and I have to go to my fucking room.
Oh, poor baby. Yeah. You want a diaper too?
I got offended.
You want someone to wipe your butt?
I didn't like what they said to me.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that fucking stupid?
Well, you know what's sad,
Get
though?
over it.
Like, here's the sad part. You can't even, you can blame the kids, but you can't really blame the kids. You got to blame the parents for not giving the kids the tools they needed to succeed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We talked about that on one of the shows. Yeah.
The parents enable their kids by not preparing them for the world.
Okay. I read today about a woman in Germany, psychologist, who gave a speech. She's supposed to be pretty well-renowned, it sounds like, right? She gave a speech that says, pedophilia...
I heard about this.
Did you read that? Pedophilia...
is a sexual orientation.
It's a sexual orientation, yes. That they were born with this and just don't have control of it. So we have to give them grace and understand where they're coming from. Are you fucking kidding me?
See, I'll say this. That's a line too far.
Oh, it's offended a lot of people, but come on. It's stupid. It's all stupid, all this crap that's going on in the world.
So here's one thing, and I was thinking about this with the show, right? Like, we've talked to a couple of our Muslim friends and asked them if they want to come in and talk about their faith because they're moderates, right? Like,
yeah.
there's a big movement about like moderate Muslims coming out and trying to reform the faith, right? And we've
hey, good for them.
No, absolutely, and that's why like we've got a couple friends that we've talked to about coming on the show, giving them a platform to talk and us ask questions to actually learn, like not the extremist views, not what you hear in the media or anything, but actually talk to a couple of friends. The one thing that I was thinking about that would be interesting to talk to, I want to talk to a trans person. Like someone part of that middle, not necessarily gay or lesbian, but an actual trans person, because I've got a shit ton of questions about that whole thing, like that whole area.
We got a mutual trans friend.
We do, and it just
might be. I don't know if he's wanting to do it. He's kind of young, so he may be. Well, he's an extremist trans. If you want to do like extremist, that would be. But I don't
know if he is either. Like that's. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Yeah.
Or her. I don't want to misgender you, but whatever you are.
Say him.
Him. Okay.
He's always a him to me.
Well, whatever he wants to go by.
That's how I met him. He'll always be a him.
But I'm curious because my big question for a lot of people, it's not all of them. Like I have a lot of gay friends who don't care what other people think.
Yeah.
And
good for them.
You're correct. Yeah. But I'm like,
we talked about tonight.
My big thing is I want to know with these people in the middle, right? Like a lot of the trans community, why do you care what other people think? Why does it matter if the person isn't a friend, isn't of value? Now, if it's family or somebody close to you that should be giving you value, I understand that concern, right? Like if it's a mom or dad or grandma, aunt, uncle, someone in your immediate family.
But be upset with your family, not the world.
Right. No, but I get that aspect. Like I totally do, because those are people of value. Those are people that matter. That's your inner circle. Absolutely. That I get. Like that I get. But when it's people in the world, when it's these talking heads, when it's the media, when it's people on the street, people that should have no power in your life, why are you giving them power over you to dictate how you feel about yourself? Like if this is how you feel, and again, I'm not that way, so I'm curious to ask the question, why do you give that power to other people?
Here's the thing about our show. There's going to be people that like it.
And people that don't.
And the people that don't, I don't care.
Right, but I'm curious that, like, if you listen to this show or you watch the show, please hit us up. I would love to have a conversation, especially if you're in that trans world. Maybe I'm off base.
Yeah.
I'm willing to admit that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I have one friend who is, and I've never asked the question.
We have a mutual friend that is,
I've never asked them the question,
I think he's still in Chicago. I'm not sure if he's back yet. It might be interesting to get him on here.
But I'd love to ask the question, have the conversation, give them a platform, talk to them, figure out, like, where does that stem from? Is it a systemic problem? Do you see that amongst your other friends? Is it not a systemic problem? Like, I don't know, because I don't have, other than the one person who I see as their social media post. Like, I don't know. Right? And I'm trying to be respectful because they are a friend, so I don't want to misgender them. And I know my language isn't appropriate to that person, but I'm just trying to show you some respect because you've earned it in my life.
It's interesting too. It would be interesting because I know in the church right now a big hot topic for quite a while has been, and this is something we can cover later, has been the gay issue. And I've got a lot of friends that are gay, and in some of the small groups and stuff I go to, and I mean, I've actually tuned churches out because of stuff like that, because they'll get so harsh on them. We're not to judge others, so that's my issue with it. It's something that they got to deal with later on down the road. And like I said, it's something we can get into later. But it would be interesting to get somebody on the show. The best man at my wedding, I've shared this with you, the best man at my wedding is gay. And I didn't know he was at the time. I found out a few years later, and I don't really care. We're still great friends. I love the guy. He's a great guy. So he'd be an interesting guy to maybe Skype in or something on all of this LBGT, ABC stuff going on, whatever the hell it is that they want to call themselves nowadays. I guess they got to add pedophiles now, too, so they'll have a P on the end.
Well, I don't know if that community wants to add pedophiles. I'd be curious because I don't know how many of them would.
By the time it starts, it's going to be an alphabet by the time it's done. But by the time it gets out, I would wonder how somebody like him feels about this, how much publicity it's getting, and it's divisiveness of it because of the publicity. how they feel about it too, because it's become very divisive.
And that's where, like, I'm curious, like, people who are in the community, how much is it media driven and how much is it talked about among friends? Because I don't
know either. I really don't know.
Like, most of the stuff I hear about the religious right, like, I have a ton of friends, and it's like, it's such a small minority of people in the church, like the religious right. Like, when I listen to talking heads in the media, it sounds like this massive group of people, and maybe it is in the South. I don't know. But out here in the West, it's a very small group of people. It's a very, very minor group of people. It was almost like, it's been a weird transition moving to Vegas. Like, in California, like, racism wasn't a thing growing up. Like, I grew up in a very multi-ethnic, so
did I. My school
my dad's an immigrant. I grew up going to international Bible studies, grew up around international people my whole life. So it was just like one of those things, like, I never understood racism. Like, in my head, the thought of not liking somebody because of their ethnic background made no sense to me. Maybe it's because of where my dad was from.
I may not like him because they're
family.
An asshole, but it had nothing to do with ethnicity.
But that's a separate issue. Like, I grew up just, like, with my family, my dad, like, all these people of different ethnic backgrounds. Like, racism never made sense to me. And then when I moved to Vegas, like, it became a more hot. And that's growing up surfing at Huntington Beach, where I knew the largest, like, was a large white supremacist group.
Yeah.
Like, when Trump got elected, I don't know how many people know, there was a huge white supremacist rally in Huntington Beach. And it was funny, like, watching a bunch of friends are like, where are all these people? And then all my friends on social media who grew up in the punk rock scene, it was funny. All these punkers from my friends were like,
skinheads. There were so many skinheads. I grew up with skinheads. That was all skinheads back then. Because I was a punk rocker back in the 80s.
Right.
And skinheads have really been big in Huntington Beach.
Venice, Huntington Beach. Yeah. A lot of the beach towns are these massive white supremacist groups. And it's like, here's the thing. They never left.
Yeah.
They never left. They've always been there. They never had any attention, so they stopped talking because it was like nobody cared. Then all of a sudden you stick a bunch of cameras and microphones in front of them, and this small group of people that's been there for 30, 40 years, they're like, oh, you're going to put a camera in front of my face? I'm going to go get on TV. And if you're like, we hate you, it's like, that's cool. You know what's going to happen in a few years? I'm going to sell my property to you that I paid $100,000 for, and you're going to give me $2 million because it's on the beach. Yeah. And you know what a bunch of people are going to do because it's beachfront property? They're going to go give them a ton of money.
Yep.
But it's like they've always been there.
It was interesting going to Huntington Beach when I was a kid like that too. I grew up in the punk rock scene. I was a punk rocker back in high school, and in Huntington Beach surfing down there. And like I said, the skinheads were just prominent. I mean, the white shoelaces. You wore the black boots with the white shoelaces.
Summer,
yeah. And you can always. They always identified themselves by what they wore. And here's the thing. I had friends that were white supremacists, and I had black friends. I had Mexican friends, like I mentioned in high school, the high school I went to. Most of my best friends were Hispanic in high school. They were in a gang. They were gangbangers. And it was just, I didn't care. I grew up in a family that it didn't make a difference to me.
The one thing about
I don't get it either. But I raised my kids the same way.
I was going to say, people, and this is where I love the state of California. I hate the politics of the state of California, but I love the state of California because of what it offers you. The multi-ethnic diversity, like growing up in a church in California, growing up like knowing Jesus, all of those led me to where I'm at, where it's just like it's not a thing. And then you get out of it and you go to places like the South, or even like learning about it here in Vegas, which was kind of weird because of the history of the town, like learning about Sammy Davis Jr. It's like growing up,
when you find out he can't even stay in the same hotel he's
like he had to come in through the back door and everything. Like I just thought it was like
I moved here.
Growing up in California, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like Sammy and everyone like was all singing, and then I get out here and they're like, Sammy used to. I'm like, Sammy had to use the side door until the group found out that he was using the side door when he wasn't walking in, and then the group, and this was a cool fact I found out, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but the story that I was told by some old timers was, when Frank and Dean and all of them found out that Sammy was never walking in with them in the front door because he was black, Frank and Dean and everyone started boycotting hotels and said, either Sam walks in with us as an equal or we don't pay your hotel.
Nice.
And like somebody, like in one of the old timers told me that, and I was like, good for them.
Exactly.
Like, good for a bunch of Italians, a bunch of mafia, because traditionally when you see them in movies and stuff, they're portrayed as a bunch of racists. But it's like, you hear something like that.
What's the Italians called? Damn wops,
whatever they are.
Whoops, wops, whatever they were called back then.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
People are gonna, you know what?
They're gonna get mad at me. They're like, freaking calling them that.
You know what the Italians were? They were people who were going to put you 6 feet under in the hole in the middle of the desert. That's what it was. But, you know, it's just weird. Like, you grow up in a place like California where it's very different.
Fucking cracker.
Yeah. Whatever. Squirrel. But it's, you know, the weird thing is, like, learning about the history of racism, learning about how the Southern Church, like, used the Bible to support racism, and you're just like, what is wrong
So
with
I'm on
people?
Fremont Street a while back.
Oh, no.
And Uncle Cracker's there.
Oh, doing a show?
Doing a show. And there's some black guys hanging around, a couple homeless guys. And he goes, this is the only time I can call white people cracker in front of everybody. And I'm like, I turn around, I'm all, damn right, I'm a cracker. What are you? I said, dude, you're brother as far as I'm concerned, is what I said to him. He goes, no, man. And he just started going off on it because he was homeless. He's going off on something on some trip. Man, cracker. And he just kept yelling. I'm all, whatever, dude. I don't really care. You know, it's like the name. This is what we were talking about, the identification in a name, finding somebody.
Well, it's the identity. It's finding our identity in something other than God, right? Like we're all looking for a group and something to identify with.
But finding validation in what somebody says about you. Who gives a fuck what they say about you?
And that's the questions that I want to and and it's not just in the trans community. I'm sure it's everywhere because it seems to be a big issue with a lot of people, just like finding your identity and what other people think of you.
More so now, though, it seems to be getting more. Maybe it's the media that's making it more prevalent,
or social media,
media that's making this more prevalent, and these Me Too movements and that other crappy shit
and
that's going on.
And
now.
That's where I want to know.
Stupid.
Like I'm curious to know is it just a trans thing, or is it just focused on that area because that's where the media focuses on,
Maybe.
Or is it a larger societal problem, like? Because it seems to me it's we focus on that one group of people because it's an easy target, but it seems like it's a large problem.
I think so.
Where it's not just trans people, and it's not just gay people, and it's not just minorities. It's a larger societal problem where we're putting our value in other people. And I know everyone's going to say it's white, whatever. I get over it. Like, we have an issue.
Fucking cracker.
God bless it.
I'm going to start calling you Cracker.
Cracker? As long as you start bringing some saltines, I'm good.
You know, I actually had some crackers in here earlier today, but I ate them.
You ate all the saltines?
I did.
Just because you're white.
They're good on a diet, dude. You eat a couple saltines.
Rice cakes are better.
I had rice cakes in here, too.
I know you did. You had some rice cakes.
Yeah, they got all stale, so I had to get rid of them.
Didn't eat them.
Yeah.
You were eating other stuff.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
But crackers and peanut butter is good, too.
But, hey, listen, if you're out there and you hear anything and you want to talk to us about it, like...
Oh, yeah, we'd love to hear your opinions.
We'd absolutely, like, I'd love for these questions to get answered and have that conversation because, quite frankly, I just don't know a lot of people. Now that I'm a dad and have a wife and a family, I don't have the time to just go out to the bar like I used to and have these conversations or meet people and be like, hey, let me spend 3 hours talking your ear off because... These aren't things I'm going to get from talking heads. They're not things I'm going to get from the media. They're not things I'm going to get from a 5-second sound.
You know, talking about different groups, this just came to me, Squirrel. I was in Spain, and I'm sitting there. It was siesta time, and Spain does this. I mean, they literally go to work at when they get up.
Well, they work like the morning, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They'll get up around 8 or 9 and show up to work finally. And, I mean, it's not like it seemed to me they didn't have set hours, most of the stores. It's like we open at 9-ish, kind of thing. And so, but at noon, no matter what time they got there, at noon, they were done. They were gone. And it was from noon till 4 to 5 o'clock. I mean, siesta's pretty damn long. The bars stayed open. And this was Madrid. I'm talking Madrid and everything north of Madrid. Pretty much every town north of Madrid and Madrid itself. And Madrid's huge, obviously, the capital. But so I saw this. And I'm in one of these towns, and one of the stores is closed. And I'm looking at some stuff inside of it. And I knew it was closed. I'm just kind of picture shopping kind of thing, window shopping. And this old dude is sitting there, and he goes, "You're American, aren't you?" And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how you can tell, but yeah. He goes, "You know what's wrong with Americans?" And I'm like, no, but I bet you're going to tell me. And he goes, you guys all think you're going to retire. And I'm like, say that again? He goes, you guys all have this dream that you're going to, someday retire and not have to work. He goes, for most of you, that never happens. You'll work till forever. Here in Spain, we have figured out that you're going to work until the day you die. So we take siestas and enjoy life.
It's true.
I don't know why I thought of this while you're in the middle of that conversation.
No, but you've told me this before. Like, you phrased it, all you Americans are going to be a whole lot happier once you figure out you're going to work till the day you die. But that gets at, we haven't talked much Bible. You read a book by John Piper called Don't Waste Your Life. He talks about that very aspect, that so many Americans are looking for the day of retirement instead of looking how to serve God until the day they die.
Yeah.
Because living as a disciple is a lifelong process. It doesn't stop the day your job stops. You are you may have a vocation, and but you're living the gospel out until the day you die.
Hey, let's face it, in this country at $34,000 being top 1%
of the globe,
when you actually hit retirement where you can, it's popular nowadays. I know it was a while back. I don't know if it still is. People were moving to the Philippines because off of Social Security,
they could live.
You can basically live on the beach with a security guard and a maid full time at your house on the beach.
I've actually been looking at like South American countries, like through Central America and down in South America. It's amazing how little you need to actually live an amazing lifestyle. Like
on the beach.
We talked about like just even in Baja California.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to share this because all you too scared to go down there and live down there.
I love going down there. Just stay here. Just stay here. Don't go down there because you'll raise the price up. Just
Mexico is terrible.
Yeah,
Baja's awful.
Don't go, man.
You're gonna get shot.
You never want to go down there.
Never want to go to Baja.
Yeah,
that's why. But that's why property's so cheap.
Exactly, because nobody goes down there.
Because everybody's gonna get shot.
That's right. Cartel's going to get you.
Yeah, you're going to get kidnapped.
They're going to kidnap you. Yeah,
you're going to get kidnapped.
They're going to ask for
the cops are going to extort you for money.
That's right.
You're going to get framed. You're going to get you know, all this.
And somebody might sell you some chiclets.
Although,
look out.
To all of you who are brave souls who go down to Mexico, don't make the mistake I made. When you're waiting in line to cross the border, when the first taco guy comes by, he's going to charge you $2 a taco.
Yeah, wait for the second guy.
Wait for the second guy.
He did that. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, no, dude. No. It's cheaper up there. But I want some tacos.
I was hungry. I've been in this line for an hour. I wanted my tacos. I wanted my last bit of tacos before I crossed the border. I ordered 3 tacos at $2 a pop. And I was like, $2 for delivery. I'm okay with that.
Well, here in the States, that's a good price.
$2 a taco.
Mexico, that ain't a good price.
We literally drove like 3 cars in front of us because they decided to shift change on us and we got stuck. And literally about 15 people come walking down. And I'm not exaggerating. It was like 15 people come walking down the street. $1 tacos.
Could have got, for the same price.
One guy.
You could have got like a lot more tacos.
That far back at $2 and suckered me into it. Now,
see, he was probably actually $1 tacos too. He just saw you and said, "How much are the tacos?" Oh, $2, senor.
In my defense, his ass bought a burrito, but it was only like $1 more. I think it was like $3 or $4, so he didn't get ripped off.
Big burrito, but I knew it wasn't a ripoff.
I paid $6 instead of $3 for three tacos.
See, dude, I'll be down there this Friday. I love Mexico, man. I go all the time.
And those tacos at the border are so good.
Tacos everywhere in Mexico are good.
Yeah, that's true. That fruit bowl we got. Oh, damn.
The fruit bowl.
The fruit bowl. Remember the tortilla chips and the cucumber and the mango and the coconut and the... Oh my Lord!
Oh, the food down there is phenomenal, man.
Dude, the fruit, I don't.
But you don't want to go get it.
Maybe because it's non-GMO. Yeah, that's true. It's all like non-GMO and like
you
organic.
You really don't want it. It's not good for you.
Yeah, I know. It's not.
Get Jack in the Box instead.
Yeah, you don't want to go down there.
McDonald's.
You don't want fresh food. You don't want $1 tacos.
No.
$1 Coronas. Oh, correction, it's $2 Coronas.
Oh, dude, you can get $1 Coronas down there. There's places to get them.
I think most bars went to like $2.
Most of them are still $2 for a beer, but you can find $1 ones.
Stop trying to sell it to the viewers. They need to not go down there. Yeah. They're going to jack the price up to $3 by the time they all go down there.
See, what happens usually when you first drive across the border, a cop pulls you over, and they extort all your change from you, or your money, your like load bills, because you got to hide the big wheels. If you're smart, you hide them. Otherwise, you got it all gone. And then you got to come back across. So, and that's before you left there, you got to get car insurance that costs you like $200. So now you go down there, the cop extorts you. Then you get farther down there, and the cartel pulls you over.
Right,
and
then they extort you.
They extort the rest of it out of you or kidnap you. And then really what happens.
Right, and if you've made it this far into it, and then you finally get into the bar, it's owned by the cartel.
That's right.
And then they charge you Vegas casino prices for your drinks.
Pretty much. It's like $10 a drink.
To take the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then you got to fill up with Mexican gas, which is by the liter.
Which doesn't work, so your car breaks on the way back. Yeah, it's watered down.
So then you got to pay the cartel mechanic to fix the car.
That's right.
To go wait in line where the cartel people will push you across the border on debt and credit, so you have to...
or they kidnap you and just have your family pay for it.
No, they usually when you get in the borderline, they shove all the drugs in the car because the white people won't get caught.
That's right.
And then you have to pay off the debt because then once you get across the border, they'll fix the car and then you can drive it to L.A. to give to... whatever gang
or
it
if
is.
Or if you're one of the unfortunate ones, the drug dogs get you, and you're in jail for the next 20 years here in America.
Right, but you didn't have a choice because you had to pay for the gas in your car just to get across the border.
So don't go to Mexico.
Yeah, don't.
Because all this stuff can happen to you.
Don't.
It usually does.
Yeah.
Most Americans go down there. This is what happens.
Yeah, they never come back across the border safe.
So
it's a terrible place.
Yeah, I'd stay away.
Don't go.
So anyway, I'm going to be there Friday. Love Mexico, man. It's an awesome place.
Oh, my gosh. People, get over it. Yeah. Like, it's beautiful down there. The people are great. Wine country in Baja is beautiful.
There's over 100 wineries now in wine country.
Let me put it this way.
It's gorgeous.
For those of you that are brave enough, here's Baja, California. It's California. It's Napa and L.A., Orange County, and San Diego County all in one place for about a tenth of the price.
Yeah.
Like literally about a tenth of the price, you get the weather, the wine, the beer, the food, the people, surfing. The atmosphere.
I used to surf down there years ago.
There's tons of surf breaks. The fishing's better. Oh, and here's the best part about Mexico. Ready? It's one word that you're not going to believe me. Freedom.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of freedoms out
there. You can fish on the beach. You can drive your four-wheel drive on the beach.
And guess what?
You could burn the beach down if you want to.
Yeah, we did that. We tried. It didn't work.
Yeah, sand doesn't burn very well.
No.
Not even with gasoline.
No, we tried. Trash, gasoline.
We did make a very legitimate attempt to try and burn the beach down.
Yeah. Somebody's going to write on there going, what the hell? You guys fucking burn the beaches down?
And then when the guy came by to clean up the trash, he just kind of looked at us and shook his head like,
no, that's okay, senor.
That's all right. We got it. They cleaned it up. I felt bad for him.
Crazy fucking Americans.
I know.
See, they think we're nuts. They do. Fucking guys are burning the beach down. What the hell's wrong with them?
Hey, we had 2 family reunions we gave entertainment to, though.
Oh, yeah.
And they fed it.
Hey, they made some great tacos,
They
dude.
really did. We got to eat well.
That's right.
We got really drunk, and we ate very, very well.
Oh, had some great beers, great wines down there.
Yeah,
great meals.
That winery we went to was awesome.
Oh, man. Like I said, there's over 100 wineries, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, honestly, people, like, you get a chance to go down to Baja. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. In between Ensenada and Rosarito, I think is where that wine country is.
But you really don't want to go.
You just drive back there. You can stay at the wineries. The wine's great. The people
what
are
I've heard
great.
is the wineries, when you stay there, they extort you and they break into your room and actually steal your money.
Oh,
that's what I've heard.
So you got to get more money wired to you to buy the wine.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, terrible people.
They are. That's
absolutely
what happens,
terrible people.
All right, guys. Hey, let's rate this beer. We're like way over. We're an hour 22.
Voodoo Ranger.
It's like our show gets longer and longer and longer every week.
Actually, last week was way long. We were like an hour and 35. So we're gonna cut off.
So we're Voodoo Ranger, but we do need to get some people on our show. If you know anybody, we want
absolutely. You hear anything you want to talk to us about it? We are more than willing to have that conversation. We do want to get
some moderate Muslim opinion.
We've got a couple of them lined up, so we will be doing that.
Yeah.
Trans community, young kids, millennials, older people, atheists.
I got a guy that. Actually, there's a restaurant Becky and I eat at quite a bit here. There's actually a bar we go to, too, one of the gay bars here in town. Love it. It's a great place.
Yeah.
I've told you about it.
Well, they have, like, super cheap drinks.
Super cheap drinks. We have a great time.
Anyway, keep going.
There was a guy that worked there. Anyway, he's now at he's at a restaurant here in town. I don't want to say it because I don't want to. But he's at a restaurant, and I recognized him when we went in there. He's a hairdresser also. So I'm actually going to probably have him do my hair next time. It's like probably not that hard to really do, but he may do my hair, and especially when I color it and do my mohawks.
Mm-hmm.
So
just have him go do it.
Have him do something like that. But he's working at a bar that my daughter-in-law basically works at, another bar somewhere else. Great guy. He would be one that would probably, I bet he would love to do this show next time. Becky and I need to go there and eat. I bet I can ask him
talk to him.
Because I've kind of got to know the guy, kind of sitting there talking to him.
Yeah, because having an actual conversation over, like, even if we go like an hour and a half or an hour, I think would be a lot more beneficial. Just ask questions, explain things, and talk about it.
He's probably 25, 26 years old, so he's a younger guy. So
yeah, because a lot of these things we talk about, I'm curious on the misconception versus like actual principle, because all you get are like talking places.
I'm wondering if anybody's going to say anything. You guys go to a gay bar? Did you catch that when I said that? You and your wife go to a gay bar? We have a great time there. We love it.
Drink and Drag used to be an awesome place.
That was an awesome place, wasn't it? Love that place.
Well, unfortunately, the dude wasn't paying his taxes and got shut
down. I think that,
and
he ripped his employees off too.
Did he do that too?
Yeah, that guy was an ass.
So he was shyster.
He was just an ass. I mean, to do what he did, he was an ass.
I kind of feel that kind of sucks that I gave him money now.
He took money from the city to open it up. Never paid that back. Never paid his taxes. Didn't pay his employees. And then when they actually closed his doors, he cut the locks, tried to go in there and take all the liquor out so that he can sell it outside. He got caught. So
that dude's trash.
Yeah.
Total trash.
So that was pretty bad what he did. So going on beer. Wait a minute. We gotta do that right. Beer. That every time we start saying beer now. We just got to do just beer. Just kind of get that going.
I don't know. I think we're going to annoy people with that. Yeah, anyway.
Beer's awesome.
New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA, 9%.
You know, I actually found this for myself. It's as a IPA, I think it was a little strong.
Very hoppy.
Very, very hoppy.
Very, very.
I like IPAs. I think this was over the top as far as hoppiness on some of them, so I'm not going to give it a real high rating. I'll probably give that France shithole French people, that Kronenberg thing over there, it's probably going to be higher. What was I, 1.5 on that?
You were 1.5.
I'm going to probably do like a 1.25 on this Voodoo Ranger.
You hit the nail right where I was going to put it.
1.25. There you go.
So we're at 2.5.
So, you know what? Have we ever had one under 1 yet?
No, we did a 1.
Did we do a 1?
I had a 1.
You had a 1.
I had a 1.
I don't think I've had one that low yet.
Not yet.
I love beer though. So
you do.
But I mean, this one I'm probably 1.25.
I think we should rate all the Bushes and Natty Ices and everything just to see if we get one.
Oh, just see if we can get one. Yeah, we probably would. I know Bud Ice. I'd probably do a 1/4. Like, let's see. I'm gonna push this thumb down, just cut it off, and this one's gonna be like a knuckle up. You know,
just for the 1/4.
Yeah, it's like that fucking nasty ass beer.
Well,
my buddy. Becky and I looked for it, and it's too bad we didn't find it. We were actually going to at his funeral because it was always a story. Whenever we were together, he had to tell that story about the Bud Ice. We looked for Bud Ice. It's hard to find now. We found it at Walmart recently, which we didn't know. I thought it wasn't made anymore. We were actually going to take a bottle of Bud Ice and put it next to his urn. Just, dude, here's your last beer.
Here's the last one.
A Bud Ice for you.
Well, guys, that's 2 beers, lots of crazy talk. Not a lot of Bible talk tonight. A little bit.
Little bit here and there. So we'll put the news stories up. We've got the one about the family in Pennsylvania. And then
I'll find the Timmy story.
The Timmy story. We got that one.
In the RJ.
And it seems we talked about one other one.
Something else you had that you read.
We'll
find it.
I'll think of it.
We'll post it.
It'll come to me. And I'll put it up. So they'll be up this week. We'll get the video up. Remember, we're on Patreon. You know, if you feel like give me some money to buy a new jet, you can do that. Because I really do need one. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. And now I got to get some more icons up here, dude. We're on iTunes
and Google
Play.
And we'll check Spotify this week and let you guys know we're up on there.
Yeah, so we may be able to get a few more icons up here. Maybe we'll just be like icons and medals all around us or something. You know, I'll have them floating.
And I'll say on the Patreon thing, man, if you donate and give money to charity, like in town, We got 3 homeless shelters that could always use your money. The Rescue Mission, Salvation Army, and Catholic Charities.
Yep.
So, and then there's a youth homeless shelter, Shannon West, Help Us Southern Nevada. Yeah. Those are the 4 like youth homeless shelters.
So please donate if you can.
You don't have to. Honestly, you don't have to give it to us. Like if you want to give direct, please do. Like there's always people that need. Charities are always looking for help, and there's a lot that are doing good work. I know there's a lot that aren't. You know what? It's called Google. It's called Yahoo. It's called Bing. Search the charity you're looking for, and you will find out if they are reputable or not.
I work with a couple charities, so I mean I know some good ones out there.
Right? No, there are good ones. There are bad ones. Spend 30 seconds searching the charity to know if they're dickwads or if they're actually doing good work.
How much money of theirs goes to it?
Right, and it's not hard to find. All 501c3s have to have produce
public records. Yes.
Public records.
Yes.
So you can very easily pull them. If you don't know how to read public records, go to your local community college, take an accounting class, take Accounting 101, teaches you all about it. Heck, you could even just go to a teacher. I'm sure you could say, hey, I pulled the financial records from the charity. Can you let me know what they mean if you don't know how to read financial statements? And they'll tell you.
So I go to Kmart yesterday.
Kmart.
You know, Kmart's closing, by the way.
There's a Kmart still open?
They're closing.
I thought they were all closed.
No, dude. It's 30% off right now. So great deal. So go to Kmart. Yeah. So anyway, I go to Kmart, and the girl, my bill was $10.21 or something, right? And I gave her 20, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute! I think I got some change." I gave her the quarter. She looks at me and she goes, "You can see it." Because she had already punched in 20 for the change for 20. So the computer already told her that. Now she didn't know what to do. So she looks at me and she goes, 10:04. Is that good? I'm like, there you go. So
that's not accounting. That's basic math.
The accounting thing made me think of that. You know, it's like these kids nowadays, it's like, and Becky walks out, she goes, well, she got it right. And I said, I know, I got to give her that. She at least got it right, because I was actually in a Burger King one time, and that happened. I did the same thing. I love doing that, by the way. I'll sit there and I'll give the change afterwards. I'll do it after they keyed, and I do it on purpose.
Asshole.
And I want to see what kind of math these kids. They don't know math. And I actually said to this girl, and it was so simple. It was like, $1.04, whatever was going to be my change. And instead of getting a bunch of change back, I was just going to get a little bit. And she turns around and she goes, no, that's not right. So she calls over her manager. And the manager, I'm like, this is what happened. The manager's like, no, that's not right. I got to get a calculator. So he goes and gets a calculator and comes back. He goes, here's your change. I'm like, isn't that what I told you? Isn't that what it was supposed to be, what I said? No, that's not. And I'm like, dude, are you fucking serious? I mean, come on. This is the exact change. I said this is what it was going to be.
Anyway, that had nothing to do with accounting. That's just basic math. People learn basic math.
Millennials don't know math.
It's not a millennial issue. There's plenty of people in Gen X that are just as dumb.
Yeah, no, not my Gen X.
There's plenty of people that are that dumb.
No, I know math.
You do, but that doesn't mean the rest of your generation
I love
does.
messing around with people with it too.
Gen X raised the millennials, so technically all the millennial problems are because Gen X was too stupid to raise their kids properly.
I know math. My kids know math.
Good for you.
That's right. I bet your kids are going to know math too. Your daughter will know math.
Damn straight.
See? I know she will.
She'll also know common sense.
Yeah. Hopefully. No, you can't say that. I'm telling you can't say that. Because common sense, I know some of the smartest people. I've got some family that's extremely smart, book smart, can answer mathematical questions, can do all this.
Common sense is very different than book knowledge.
And don't have any common sense. That's what I'm getting at.
You have to put them in situations to learn common sense.
No, you can even try all you want. There's just some people that just don't get it.
She will have common sense.
Okay.
I will.
I hope she does.
I haven't been praying specifically for that, but as I've learned from a guy in our group, we need to pray specifically. I will be praying specifically.
You better now.
My kids will have common sense.
We're talking about
it. It'll be a very specific prayer.
I'm telling you what. Nope. Doesn't work that way.
Seek and you shall find. Ask and you will receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open.
Verse of the week. There you go.
There we go. Oh, we were going to do verse of the week and we forgot to put it up.
There's the verse.
Later, we're going to make that verse of the week.
There you go.
Absolutely. It's in Matthew.
Verse of the week.
So, but hey, guys, there's our 2 beers for the night. There's some random conversation for you.
Yep.
We will work on those guest shows. We've talked to 2 of our, like I said, the moderate Muslims, because we do want to give them a platform and talk to them because it is a very different thing. The moderate side of the faith, which they're great people. Like I know I haven't met your buddy. Verse of the week. But they are good dudes. Like I know your buddy. You've told me about him for years.
Yeah. He's a good
guy. It'll be nice to get him on here and for you guys to get to hear from him. So you know there is a different side that they're not. It's not what you actually hear.
I've read the Quran.
No,
times, so it's fun to talk to him and go actually discuss it. So.
I love talking to my buddy about it because it's the perspective. Like I hear so much about it in like the world of the media that I listen to. You hear so many of moderate Muslims, and then I talk to my buddy, and it's like that's exactly what my family believes. That's how we were brought up, and that's how we grew up, and it's like. That's a whole different world, and it's cool talking to him because it's so different. It's not what you hear.
The media.
Correct.
Portrays.
It's not what feeds it. So I'm excited to do those 2 shows with them. Again, with the trans community, I'd love to get that perspective.
Exactly.
Even if you're gay or LGBT or whatever it is, like you want to get on the show.
Your opinion,
absolutely. Like if you want a platform, like you just want to talk about it, like by all means, listen. When it comes to me. Well, I always say it's a sin, yeah. But I'm also overweight, which is a sin. Let me put it this way. If you're born sinful. Yeah. The seed of Adam condemns you from sin. I don't
judge.
Like the rest of it, it's all sinful.
I heard a song tonight. I love one of the lines in it. It said, it's a shame. Why judge someone's life that you can't change?
It's true. It's a lot of stress and worry.
And that was a line in a song I heard tonight.
Now, I will judge the hell out of pastors.
Well, yeah, they're supposed to be.
And teachers. But anyway, we'll keep you guys going. We're way long tonight. So.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Great week, and we will catch you next week. Let's see. Get my normal hang loose up.
All right.